I would like to welcome all of you to our webinar series titled Together We Rise. This is the second in this series, and it is in line with our mission and vision, simply to uplift the quality and productivity in our nation. My name is Udita Senaratna, and I'm the Assistant Editor of the Association. And please give me a minute or two to tell you who we are. Our association, Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Quality and Productivity, in short, SLAAQP, founded in 1996 and was the successor to the Quality Circle Association of Sri Lanka, which had been established in 1989. And SLAAQP is a non-profit making organization comprised of purely volunteer professionals, those who wish to contribute their time, wealth, and money, everything, to the Sri Lankan community to uplift the productivity in our nation. We are the only organization in Sri Lanka committed to recognize and appreciate the contributions of low-level associates. And today's webinar, titled 5 Years Foundation for Productivity Enhancement, and the resource person is one of the leading 5S gurus in Sri Lanka. And if I may add, I was fortunate to get my first 5S lesson from him back in 1995. And he is none other than Mr. Mahinda Saranapala. If I start reading all his achievements, credentials, we'll be here next 2 hours or so. So I have just picked up a few which I can't miss. Mr. Saranapala commands 40 years experience in management of several industries. At present, he is the Chief Executive Officer of Talent Cable PSC. Actually, the company annual top line exceeds 6 billion per annum. If you probe into his past a little bit, former chairman and managing director of M&S Associates, management consultancy firm. Prior to that, general manager, CEO of Finlanka Limited. And then he was the CEO Regis Packaging Private Limited. And before that, joint managing director, CEO Phoenix Industries Private Limited. During his tenure, he has helped approximately 60 companies and 5 national hospitals to uplift their quality and productivity through 5 years. 12 of these clients won several national competitions, including 5 years Gold Award, Kaizen Gold Awards, National Productivity Awards, etc., etc. He was one of the first person to implement 5S systems in Sri Lanka in a private company way back in 1989. And he is past president of Justica, and they have recognized him with a special award in 2013. Finally, I kept this to the last. We are very proud that Mr. Saranapala is in our board as an advisor. Okay, Mr. Saranapala, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Udita, for that excellent introduction. If I may put it right about the experience, I think I have to date 53 years of work life, and out of that 31 years I have had the opportunity of learning 5S and hands-on experience and working for many companies, and also I have helped approximately 70 companies in Sri Lanka to propagate and implement the 5S concept very successfully, and some of them are top leading companies like Unilever, Brandix Apparels, MAS Apparels, plastics companies, ceramic, engineering, services, hospitals, and dairy, etc., etc. So the wealth of experience behind me. Today, I will talk about how 5S can lay a good foundation for future productivity improvement initiatives. Basically, if the foundation is solid, like laying a solid foundation for your own house, which is going to last you 20, 30 years or more, if the 5S foundation is solid, that's the proper methodology use, involvement of all the people from top to bottom, and a good implementation strategy will definitely move your company towards more productivity. Now, what do you really gain from 5S? Actually, 5S is talking about eliminating all kinds of waste. It can be manpower, it can be material, it can be machine time, it can be water, energy, you name it, and it's unlimited. So I am a firm believer that the 5S is a solid foundation for any organization to start your productivity campaign, right? And I'll give you some examples. It's an excellent productivity tool. For instance, one company, I won't mention names. I said when I walked in, I can see a lot of hear noises, see water leaks, air leaks, oil leaks. So I said, let's do a no leak factory. No air leaks, no water leaks, no oil leaks, right? And you won't believe, or say compressed air. Sometimes if you have air leaks, your compressor is full time on load, you're wasting of energy. So that kind of thing at the end of the year, if you can add on, the savings to the company is huge, right? So these are some of the areas. Then as you go on implementing the 5S system, and then you see dramatic changes taking place in the workplace. The most important thing that you see is the changing working environment. So people begin to have faith once you start creating a new work environment. What do you mean by work environment? Quality, right? No clutter, clutter free, clean air, no dust, everything in order, simple place where everything in its place, and it goes on and on and on, and people start to begin and have faith and confidence in the concept. That is the most important key, and improvement comes only if you audit. That's my experience. Audit and improve, audit and improve. It goes and goes and goes. Finally, when you go, it will change the business landscape of your organization, right? Otherwise, prior to the 5S thing came on, they had management by objective, various things, but then the workplace organization came about with the implementation of 5S 31 years ago. So that is an amazing concept. I mean, if you take Toyota, the foundation is 5S, built on that, right? Later on, I'll show you the model that I evolved at Kalini Cables to make it a world-class company. So it's an excellent productivity tool. I think many people do not understand that they think that putting up signboards, direction boards, painting, that's not 5S. There's a deep meaning in this concept. So what will it do? I mean, if you take a manufacturing company, as you keep on improving the 5S, you see dramatic changes in production, quality, cost reduction in cost, delivery, safety, morale. So when you bracket all that together, it's productivity improvement. So if you do 5S, the most motive of improving productivity, quality, cost, delivery, safety, morale, definitely you see a dramatic change. And if you monitor what were the production levels before 5S, what are the production levels after 5S, right? So it goes on and on, and it's an endless journey. There are lots of things that you can link 5S to other. We started a model at Kalini Cables to become a world-class company, a world-class performance. Later on, I'll show you the slide. So that slide explains the whole thing where 5S stands at the foundation. Inspect through cleaning, make up the rules, follow, and part of daily work, and it becomes a habit. So as you go on, now what we did at Kalini Cables was, I developed the 5S to a very, very high level. It was, it won all the awards, and so then I decided that we should go for a world-class journey. So with that, this is the model that I evolved. If you see, at the base is all 5S Kaizen foundations. You see at the base here, right? Until we perfected the 5S Kaizen, the documentation, the manual, people involvement. Then we decided on a total change management using this model. So it's at the base is a solid foundation, 5S Kaizen, and various things, elimination of muda, losses, waste. Okay. And then we had 5 pillars. Originally it was 4 pillars, I'll explain. Total flow management. Now, if you want to do an excellent total flow management, how things flow from the time you get an order, you process it till it goes to the customer. So if 5S is not in place, you can't do TFM properly. That's my experience. I had training in the Kaizen Institute. They always say all these pillars need an excellent 5S. Then you go to TPM. Most of you all know total productive maintenance. To do TPM, again, you need the 5S. It should be an excellent 5S. I mean, it's told none other than the best TPM guys in Japan, right? Then total quality management is at the top of the company. We are very, very concerned about quality. Again, when you try to do quality, if 5S is there, it's so easy. Then service management, how we service from the time the internal and external customer, how we service till the order is delivered. Then recently, about 3 years ago, we had to add another pillar because the authorities won't give you a license unless your environmental management is of perfect order. Wastage of water, less solids, no noise, all that. So with that, in the center, if you look at both sides, you see suppliers, it is QCD, quality cost delivery driven, right? On the right-hand side, you see, again, the customer. The customer also is QCD driven, right? This is a world-class model, right? So quality cost delivery. In the center, we have the lean support system, process flow, zero errors, process effectiveness, employee involvement. Now, as you go on like this, these 5 pillars have 5 pillar leaders, strong, highly developed and trained and dynamic guys who will constantly look at improving TPM, improving TPM, TQM, TSM, TMN, and so on and so forth. So if you concentrate on this model in any organization, I can assure you that there will be a world-class journey. Yeah, world-class journey. There are some world-class standards that you all over the world they practice. World-class companies adopt best manufacturing practices. I know shortcut. Establish good supplier partnerships. Establish clear methods and standards. Now, why do we have what is called firefighting in organizations? Because due to lack of clear methods and standards, right? Then strive for continuous improvement. That's the culture. Never satisfied with what we get today, we want to get a little bit more tomorrow. Design and maintain equipment reliability. Now, some of our machines, our company is 50 plus years. Some of the machines are 50 plus years old and still giving us very good efficiency levels, good OEEs. Develop and empower teams. This is what I have done to manage the process. I zoom from the top and I'll ensure that all these things are maintained and developed. So you develop your team and empower the team to manage the process. If you try to interfere in their daily affairs, it's difficult for them to do, right? You give them the guidelines, show them the way, and they will deliver. And as a result, you will delight the customer with quality, delivery, and service. This is what world-class companies do. So what are the things that they do? Zero delays, zero downtime, zero accidents, highly organized workplaces, nothing disorganized, very well planned, teams active in continuous improvement. Equipment does not break down, high reliable, right? No quality losses or complaints. Visitors praise the world-class standards, not internally. People who come to the company, our buyers, our customers, our suppliers, they praise the company. They say it's a world-class company. To date, we have won this world-class award twice, in 2017 and 2019. And it is not an easy competition. Let's run on the Malcolm Baldrige guidelines. And we have won it twice, one in Manila, one in Indonesia, Bali. So excellent achievement. I put all this down to a solid foundation, with 5S Kaizen and all that. And everyone enjoys working in the company. It's organized and laid out, clean air, no blame environment. Changeovers are like Formula One. I would like to explain this, what changeovers are like Formula One. Most of you would have heard about Formula One racing. Yes, for every month there's a Formula One racing, but with the COVID-19 there's delay. But about 10 years ago, Toyota, the world famous Toyota motor car company, wanted to enter the Formula One racing activities. So before that, what the president of the company called the entire engineering team and said, Toyota is interested in entering the Formula One racing. But he put a condition. He said, at that time, the changeover time, you go to the pits after 40 rounds, you change your 4 tires, top up the engine with gasoline and all that, check the pressures and all that, and it goes back to the circuit. Now, that time it took about 16 seconds to do a changeover, pit changeover it's called. And the Toyota president said, I'm not interested in 16 seconds, I want 6 seconds. And he said, I'll give you everything, mini lab, mini Formula One car, best of engineers, Kaizen engineers, innovative guys, all that. So they gave 6 months to this team and said, you come back with a proposal how to do the changeover in 6 seconds. Now, put your Kaizen thinking cap, and what do you think these engineers did to bring the 16 seconds down to 6 seconds in the lab? Yeah. If you look at your car, you have 4 wheels, and invariably you have 16 nuts, four nuts each wheel. So 4 into 4 is 16. What these guys did was they designed 4 nuts, each nut to take the torque or the turning force of these 4 nuts, and developed a huge nut, and then brought it down to 8 seconds. And as they practice, now Ferrari is the best in the changeover time. They do it in less than 2.5 seconds. You look this side, you turn this, the cars have gone. So that kind of changeovers can be practiced in organizations. Where in an injection molding company, die changeover. Blow molding company, blow mold die changeovers. Then color changeovers. In apparel company, design changeovers, color changeovers. But if you look at some of these companies, they were wasting 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. Now there are companies that they do the changeovers in less than 1 hour. I know Sri Lankan companies. That is, they use this model. Changeovers are like Formula One. It can be done in any organization where there are changeovers, but of course you have to prepare, plan, and all that. The events are planned and run smoothly. The meetings are very effective, short meetings, 1-page reporting. Customers are delighted and profits are increasing. Now, this is finally what you achieve if you have a world-class company, and it takes a long time. And I've been there at Calnic Cables 9 years. We reached the world-class standard in 2017. We continued, and in 2019 again we won it because we maintained that status quo. We didn't drop the standards. And then this is not magic. It's very simple. Only thing is you have to be very, very cautious and then get the people involved and go on. And there are some attributes that I would like to share with you if you want to do a successful 5S campaign, right? First and foremost, commitment. Commitment has to come from the top. Without that, it won't work. 100% leadership. Later on, I'll explain why it fails. The good leadership. Get involved. As CEO, I still get involved in all these initiatives. Otherwise, it won't work. Claim ownership. This is our company. This is our project. This is our campaign. We want to do it together as a team. Be passionate about it. Whatever you do, be passionate, and it's going to be a success. These are my personal attributes that I have found. Positive, always positive. Yes, can do. Yes, can do. Positive attitude. Knowledge. Without knowledge, you will not get anywhere. Now, I have seen many companies starting 5 years with a bang, but halfway through drops it due to lack of knowledge how to continue. People's participation. Now, in these kind of initiatives, 5S, Kaizen, Lean, TPM, TPM, people's participation is the most important thing. If they get involved, they'll come out with more innovative 5S projects, Kaizen projects. So please remember, 90% of the job is done by our people. So they have to get involved. You have to encourage them to get involved. Then you need to know how to tap the power of the people, without which you will never get. Now that is one of the strong key points that I have developed over the years. And every day I do what is called a management by walking about. Every day I do a round. I make it a point to talk to people. I make it a point to take photographs with my phone camera, and I send it to the respective managers. Within an hour or so, it is corrected. So they know that I am on the ball. I am looking, coming around, talking to people, finding out things are moving in the right direction. So that's about all on this commitment. Then we evolved a new thinking to where do we go from here? From here, where do we go? So we coined this thing, improving Kalani with everyone, top to bottom, everywhere, every day. The 5S Kaizen way, right? Again, with everyone, everywhere, every day, the 5S Kaizen way. Yeah, with that, I think I have covered the most important thing, how to get about the 5S and go for a world-class journey. Now you may open this out for questions, Udita. Now I'm ready.
Yeah,
right.
There's one very interesting question. There's a saying that if an organization can't implement and sustain 5S, that organization will not be in a position to implement any other productivity improvement programs. Could you elaborate on this, please?
Yeah, I do not agree with that, Udita. Now, if you take the history back, and prior to 5S coming into Sri Lanka, say, they also had many ways of improving productivity, management by objectives, right? So many things. So I don't think that is the correct statement. Partly yes and no, but mostly no, because we have had companies in Sri Lanka running prior to the 5S Kaizen coming in, so they had excellent results. But 5S has changed the way we do business, or the landscape of our companies. Yeah, is that okay, Udita?
Yes. I think the person who put this question, I think what he may have meant that 5S is a way of identifying abnormalities in workplace. So if a company can't really get their abnormalities surfaced through 5S,
yes,
the continuous improvement stops there. I think that's what I think.
Probably, yeah.
Worry. Yeah. And there's another question, because some companies they extend this 5S to 6S, 7S by adding safety and security, etc. Could you please comment on this extension?
Yeah. Actually, if you take the I explained this about earlier. In a manufacturing company, you are looking at improving production, quality, cost, delivery, safety, morale. So safety is inbuilt in the 5S, But I know some Japanese companies where the accident rates are high, productivity is low. They added safety as another initiative and call it success. Of course, in today's context, COVID-19, safety and security become very, very important, right? So in that sense, I know a lot of companies in Japan, they call it success and they give a lot of weightage to safety. I know a Sri Lankan company which improved productivity purely through safety. Huge company, right? They banked on safety, improved productivity by reducing accidents, right? So that's another way. But basically, the safety is part of in 5S. When you start doing everything in a organized way, obviously your safety will improve. Yeah. Any other questions?
Right. There's another question. Please says tell how 5S got introduced to Sri Lanka. That's one gentleman asking. How
yeah, actually, many people believe that by introducing 5S, the business landscape has changed. Now, if you look at Justica, what Justica has done is they have propagated this 5S, and I'm also from the beginning involved. About close to 1,800 companies have already started implementing 5S. And you see in the public and the private sector, police stations, hospitals. I have personally done 5 hospitals in Sri Lanka. And the changes are taking place. But what I believe is the pressure must come from the top. It must be, for instance, if the president says, okay, I want 5S implemented in Sri Lanka, I'll break it into districts, I will appoint people. I'm sure we can do it, right? That there is always a way we can improve things in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, another I think is a timely question now with the COVID-19. That some few gentlemen would like to know how we can relate 5S to COVID-19.
Yeah, right now, now at Kalani Cables, immediately before we started work, we ensured that all these the spray booths, pedal wash, hand wash basins, sanitizers, masks, and all the things were implemented. It was very easy because 5S is already there in a big way, more than 5S. So it's very easy for us as a team to ensure the safety and security of our people. Then the temperature gauges, all that, and then we ensured the social distancing machines and all that, and then definitely 5S will help all organizations to face the COVID-19 epidemic in a organized manner.
Right, that's another very interesting question. I think most of us must face this one. How do you break the cultural barrier? That's the
that's a good point. Yeah, sure. Now we have to learn to overcome natural resistance. Now this is in any organization there is a resistance to change, right? And develop an open attitude to new ideas. Basically, people want to first have faith in the concept. So you have to prove it to them that this 5S concept is going to change the way we work, change your work environment, right? And clean, safe, all that. Once that is done, and when you start dialogue, right, people start changing. But you can't bulldoze, force it upon them. That is my experience. And open culture, right? That is the most important. And naturally, anyone have resistance to change. Even all of a sudden, my board says, don't do this, don't do that, I'll resist. But if you tell them why we are going to do that, what is your involvement, this company-wide initiative. So basically, my own experience in doing, I have done 70 companies in Sri Lanka. Initially, about 60% will support you. But as you go on, when they see the changes that are taking place in the workplace, they gradually join the others and make a big difference. So it's up to the management, the leaders, and one more important thing I want to tell you about this: create a culture of continuous improvement and share your successes with workers. Right? You must always share. This department has done this. This is the change. This is what has happened. These are the people who did it. Right? Highlight these things. Another important thing is change is reversible. But transformation, now I can very proudly say that I have transformed Kalani Cables to what it is today. So you cannot reverse it again. It is inbuilt. People believe in it. People practice it daily. Right? So remember this golden rule. Change is reversible. Transformation is not irreversible. So that is the important thing. All these initiatives, finally, we will come to that now. Any more questions? We have about 10 minutes more.
Yes, one more question. A gentleman would like to know. Actually, when I myself have experienced this, a lot of SMEs in Sri Lanka, they're not really interested in 5 years. So what can we, because they account for about 60-70% of the economy. So what can we do?
Yeah, I think the associations like the Quality and Productivity, Justica, we can do a lot, because I think they fear about the cost. That is the main thing, what I feel, because they think all the big companies have the money to do 5S and all that, and we don't have. So therefore, that we must break that fear psychosis barrier. Get them in, okay, this is the way it should be done, and this is how it's done, this is what the changes will take place, and so on. So the associations, especially Quality and Productivity and Jatsika and all that, has a lot to do to help the, for instance, in Japan, it's 99.5% are SMEs. So in Sri Lanka, I think, so we should help them. I mean, a couple of seminars, lectures, workshops will change their attitude.
Right. I think, Sarfa, that's about it. And any other questions? Please try to put on the chat line.
Yeah, I think a common question today is some companies fail in their 5S implementation. There are many reasons for that. I think one is poor leadership, no question about it. You might get the best consultant, but the leadership is not strong, not committed, it won't work, right? Then improper approach. I know so many companies, they have got so many others failed, call me in, and because improper approach. As I said, this is people involved, people oriented concepts. So we have to get the help and assistance of the people, work with them, and poor knowledge of 5S. Some read books, some go for seminars, and it's not easy, right? Now, if you take my case, 31 years, and I've still not given up learning, right? The long journey, endless journey, and every day you're learning something new, right? And then inability to convince people is another reason for failures. If you don't win the hearts and minds of them, the people, you cannot have a successful 5S. And unable to overcome, as I said earlier, natural resistance to change. So it is by model departments, talking to them, model workshops, learning, pocket meetings. I mean, there are so many ways of implementing this. So it is an endless. Now, what I did at Kalani, after we won the world class, I can't stop there. I started what is called operational excellence just a year ago. in the group, 4 companies and Kalani Cables, you won't believe, unbelievable changes are taking place. We looked at areas that we never looked at. The base again is 5S. Again, if you want to do a good operational excellence, world-class journey, you need to have good 5S. So, yeah, looking at truck turnaround time, truck load capacity utilization, right, cost per ton, various conversion costs and major improvements, right, saving on material, space, right. Then I also would like to share one more example. As a learning curve, every year I go for the Kaizen Congress, which is held in India. This year also I went in February in Pune. All the companies, about 300 companies, come and make presentations of their key learnings and what they have done, mainly 5S Kaizen innovation, things like that. I'll quickly share with one company. There's a brewery, very large brewery in India. Now they were using, first time I heard this, to produce 1 liter of beer, 6.3 liters of water. Now this is a huge cost to the company, environmentally, cost-wise, managing it. So this Kaizen innovation team, 5S Kaizen, they got a consultant from the Kaizen Institute, which in about 3 years, you won't believe, they brought it down to 2.5 liters of water to produce 1 liter of beer. Now that's an amazing change. And I can share so many examples. Every year I go because I learn a lot. And space saving, inventory management, distribution, network systems, unbelievable changes. All the base again, I repeat, base again is 5S, Kaizen, Lean, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much for the opportunity given by the Quality and Productivity Association. We hope there will be many more productivity-driven webinars in time to come.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Saranapala. It's a pleasure and it's a great privilege for us to have you on this series of webinars. And I think you made it so simple during this available time. I think the contents and what Mr. Saranapala delivered must have immensely helped all the listeners to part in this series today. And also, I would like to invite you all to visit our website for details of our future programs. And also, I would like to welcome any of you who wish to become a member of our association and join hands with us to help our mother nation. I think that would be, great thing to do. You can get a lot of self-satisfaction. And I take this opportunity for you to invite and take membership in our association. The webinar series will continue thereafter. The whole purpose of our intention is to promote quality and productivity in Sri Lanka. Thank you very much joining with us today and have a great evening.